Let's get right into it. Okay, so it's definitely been a very long time since I last made a video on YouTube, but I kind of wanted to get back into it to just kind of explore like my creative outlets, but also to kind of get back into doing something else that I love, which is vlogging, and kind of talking about where I've been for the past, I don't know when my last video was made, 4 years, and like how things are going now. When I last started filming, I think I was still in high school. I've since graduated college, which, to be fair, it has not been that long, not even in the slightest. I graduated pretty quickly, so I only was at college for about 2.5 years, and then I got my bachelor's degree. And recently, I actually graduated in December with a bachelor's degree in government with an emphasis in legal studies. So, if any of you are wondering, I actually went to Grand Canyon University, which, if you ever want to check it out, I totally recommend. I love Grand Canyon University. I thought it was an amazing school, and GCU will forever be my lopes up, alma mater. However, I have recently begun looking into graduate schools, and graduate schools have been kind of stressful. Now, for most of you who are probably in the intermediary, like me, it's probably a stressful period, right? Yeah, it's definitely stressful. But not to bite the bucket, or how they say kick the bucket, bite the lip. I don't know. Um, Basically, it's a really conflicting time. Building back on where I have been, kind of an update on my language goals. Kind of slowed down a bit. And even though I haven't entirely stopped learning languages, I haven't necessarily been as committed to it as I was in the past. You see, language learning is still central to who I am as a person, and I think that like language learning is more than just a hobby to me. And I think even for others who are also into language learning, it's kind of the same thing. Like it's more than just a hobby, it's kind of a goal, and sometimes it's a lifestyle. Like learning languages is something that allows me to communicate with others effectively, but also get to know people on a more interpersonal level, which I think is absolutely amazing, and that everyone should be committed to at least some language learning goal in their future. Now, kind of going back on that, I say that, but I also might contradict myself because I'm not always the best example of this. I am still sitting kind of near like a B2 level in French. I have B2, maybe C1 level in Spanish. Spanish is my second language, although I have to admit I'm not the best at it. And I often get told I have slightly an accent, so c'est la vie. Otherwise, I recently have picked up Dutch, and so far I'm still A1 in Dutch. And I've been working incredibly hard, even using some books recently that I found at a store, but also online resources that are also available. Purposefully, I would definitely say looking for free resources is great just because it saves time and money and having to search. But at the same time, too, free resources aren't always the best, or they aren't always catered to our needs and sometimes are limited. So, like Duolingo, for example, as much as I love Duo, please don't come after me or my family. I have to say that Duolingo's lessons are often just supplemental resources and not entirely a primary resource to use on their own. So definitely having books handy that you can use is something that I would entirely recommend. So getting better on it, but we shall see. I also have kind of picked up Portuguese a little bit. I'm not the best at it. I would probably put my Portuguese somewhere around an A2 level. I can understand it more so than I can speak it, and my speaking is okay. I can have basic conversations. Shout out to my Brazilian friends in university who helped make learning Portuguese an actual fun interest. Otherwise, I haven't really dug too much into it, especially since living in California currently. There aren't many Portuguese speakers around. At least they're rare to find or hard to find at that. And so speaking Portuguese has kind of been difficult. I have heard of recommendations to use things like italki. I have used italki in the past, particularly for lessons with French, as well as some other apps and websites like HelloTalk, just to communicate with people and kind of connect with pen pals. Although I will say I don't like using those apps all the time, mostly because they do often have limited resources, or the people aren't always there to just chat about language learning. So kind of figuring out a healthy balance on like, what do I want to learn and what do I not want to learn? Kind of going back into another goal that I have, but also kind of focusing on where my academic goals are. Yes, I definitely would love to study in the Netherlands because my career field, at least the field that I would like to go into, definitely surrounds international law and government as well as European studies. In the Netherlands, I was accepted to, like I said, Erasmus University in Rotterdam. Currently, I actually have been accepted to their LLM program, which focuses on international law and European law. But as one might imagine, getting there is a little bit difficult. But also being ready to study Dutch intensely for the next few months is going to drive me crazy. Just because I find that media in Dutch, at least good media, is often hard to find. I've reached out to a couple of Dutch friends who might be able to help me, but some of them have also said the same thing, especially with music. They didn't recommend too many artists. However, I have found myself kind of fond of like Roxy Dekker. I think I'm saying it right. I hope I'm saying it right. Um, but also kind of getting into Dutch music. Honestly, I just went onto Apple Music and looked at the top 100 Netherlands and kind of listened to a few artists, picked some songs that I liked, and then just started listening to those to kind of get myself some media exposure to Dutch. Honestly, it's kind of stressful thinking about everything all at once and like where I've been and where I'm going. Sometimes I feel like I'm moving a mile a minute. Yeah, especially when I'm talking. I'm probably talking really fast, but also because I want to keep this video short and I don't want to bore anyone with too much information. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I want to keep this video short and simple, but I do plan on making more videos in the future, and I thank you guys all for watching. I will see you next time.